Music played softly, the gym lights dimmed to a golden hue, and there he was. A single dad, dancing with his daughter, the only two on the floor. Cell phones were raised, but one person, the school principal, quietly hit record. And what happened next, no one could have predicted. Jake Lawson wasn't supposed to be here tonight. In fact, he almost didn't come at all. The father-daughter dance at Elmwood Elementary was something he had heard about for weeks from his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. She had circled the date on the calendar with glittery pink marker and had talked about it every morning over cereal and every night before bed. But Jake wasn't like the other dads. He didn't wear suits to work or come home at 5. He was a construction worker by day, dishwasher by night. A man whose hands were calloused from hard labor, who had learned to braid ponytails while half asleep at dawn and bake cupcakes using online tutorials just to make his daughter smile. Lily's mom, Emily, had passed away when Lily was just 4. Breast cancer. The cruel kind. The one that leaves you breathless with how quickly it takes and how long it lingers in the hearts left behind. Since then, it had been just the two of them. Jake and Lily against the world. When Lily brought home the flyer for the school's father-daughter dance, Jake smiled and promised he'd try. But deep down, he wasn't sure he could make it. His second job at the diner was his only way to keep the lights on and food in the fridge. But when the night arrived, Jake looked at Lily in her thrift store dress, twirling in front of the mirror with hope sparkling in her eyes, and something inside him shifted. "I'll be right back," he said quietly and stepped into the kitchen. There, he called his boss. "Rick, I know it's last minute. But I need tonight off. It's for my little girl." There was a pause. "You'll have to cover 2 shifts this weekend." "I will. Gladly." Jake arrived at the school 10 minutes late. The parking lot was nearly full. He parked his beat-up truck far from the entrance, brushed the drywall dust off his jeans, and changed into the only suit he owned, a too-tight jacket from his wedding day, buried deep in the back of his closet. He walked into the school gym with a deep breath, his heart pounding harder than it had on his first day on a construction site. The space was filled with balloons, streamers, and laughter. Fathers and daughters spun together on the dance floor, while others posed for pictures at decorated photo booths. Jake scanned the crowd and spotted Lily sitting alone at a table in the corner, her small hands folded in her lap, eyes darting toward the door. When she saw him, her face lit up like sunrise. She ran. "Daddy!" He caught her midair as she jumped into his arms. "You came. Wouldn't miss it for the world, princess," he whispered. But something was different. As they stood there hugging, Jake noticed the looks. Some of the other dads wore puzzled expressions, a few chuckled under their breath. Jake's suit was clearly worn, his boots dusty, and he looked more like someone here to fix the pipes than to dance. Lily didn't seem to notice, or maybe she chose not to. "Let's dance," she beamed, pulling him toward the center of the room. The DJ called for the father-daughter waltz. Couples slowly gathered, laughing and chatting. But no one offered a second glance to Jake and Lily, until they were the only two left dancing. The music played. Jake had never waltzed before. His movements were clumsy, but his heart was fully present. Lily stood on his boots as they moved, her laughter contagious. Jake's focus was only on her, her joy, her glow, the way her tiny hands held his like he was her whole world. What they didn't know was that Principal Grace Whitman had been watching from the corner of the room. She saw how the others averted their eyes, how whispers floated from table to table, but she also saw the love, the real, raw love between a father and his daughter. Silently, she pulled out her phone and began to record. The next morning, Jake went back to work. Lily, still floating from joy, clung to her dance photo as if it were made of gold. Jake didn't think much about the night beyond how happy it had made her. But the video told another story. Principal Whitman uploaded the clip to the school's Facebook page with a caption. "Last night, I witnessed something beautiful. A reminder that love doesn't wear fancy suits or come in perfect packages. It shows up, dances even when it doesn't know the steps, and gives everything, quietly and completely. Thank you, Mr. Lawson, for showing us all what fatherhood really means." The post went viral. Within hours, comments poured in. "Cried watching this. What a hero. Reminds me of my dad who raised me alone. He's doing everything right." News outlets picked it up. Local morning shows called to request interviews. Donations flooded in from strangers who wanted to help this single dad and his little girl. Jake was overwhelmed. He had never asked for attention. Never wanted recognition. All he had ever wanted was to be enough for Lily. And somehow, that had moved the world. Soon after, the school invited Jake to speak at a fatherhood appreciation night. He stood nervously before a crowd of parents, teachers, and students. Lily sat in the front row, grinning. "I'm not much of a speaker," Jake began. "I'm just a guy trying to raise a little girl who believes she can do anything. I mess up. I get tired. But I show up. Because she deserves that." There wasn't a dry eye in the room. Months passed. Jake got a promotion at the construction site after his boss saw the video and realized what kind of man he had on his team. The diner cut his shifts when a local scholarship fund offered to pay for Lily's future education. One of the dance moms even started a nonprofit for single parents in honor of Jake and Lily's story. But most of all, what stayed with people wasn't the viral post, or the donations, or the speeches. It was the dance. The way a father held his daughter in a gym full of people, unfazed by stares, undistracted by judgment. Just two hearts moving together, bound by love and memory. And so, if you ever find yourself at Elmwood Elementary's gym, look closely. There's a photo frame by the trophy case. It holds a picture of Jake and Lily in that moment, his boots scuffed, her smile radiant, the backdrop of balloons blurred behind them. Below it, a plaque reads, "Sometimes, the strongest man in the room is the one who simply shows up." The Father-Daughter Dance, 2025". And that's the story of how one quiet moment between a father and daughter reminded an entire town, and the world, what love really looks like. So next time you think you have nothing special to offer, remember, showing up, being there, dancing even when you don't know the steps, that might just be everything.